Let's check out the AP Stats news for week 4. So this week in AP Stats, we have our scheduled due date for the Chapter 1 test. Again, it's a 2-part test, so the first one's going to be 10 multiple choice questions as your multiple choice test. Then the second day would be 3 to 4 free response. Keep in mind the deadline for these 2 tests is the following week on October 1st and 2nd. This test must be taken by these 2 dates, otherwise you will get a 0 and you cannot make up this exam. If you are on pace, what you're going to notice after the first 2 days of testing, Wednesday is a very light day, just a quick survey to get your feedback about how the course is going so far, and then you will jump into Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is a short chapter. It's more mathematical in nature, learning about this thing called the normal curve and how to get probabilities and areas under the curve from it. Because this is a short chapter, this is just a 1-day test, which is combined multiple choice and free response. The other thing you're going to notice if you look ahead, next Monday, October 1st, we have our second pacing score. Remember, there's 12 of these throughout the entire year, 1 for each chapter, and they accumulate to about 2% of your overall grade. Now, let's say that you don't take the Chapter 1 test on the scheduled due date, but you actually get it in by the deadline. It seems a little odd that if you take the test on the deadline, you would also have to have your pacing for Chapter 2 completed to get full credit at that point in time. And ultimately, being within the 1-week window of having our scheduled due dates, I'm fine with that. You're not going to be at any disadvantage. So what I'm going to do with this Chapter 2 pacing, what you have to do to get full credit for this one is you do have to finish as of Section 2.1. So you have to get the 2 days of work done for Chapter 2. If you are done with these first 2 sections by either Monday the 1st or any time following up to that next week, which we don't see on the calendar, I will give you all 200 points for that. Basically, I'm going to allow you to be 1 week behind the material if need be. Anything beyond that, you will start to get some of the penalties in terms of your pacing score, and clearly you only have that additional 1 week for your tests at a minimum. Last thing to remember is as you do sign up to take these 2 tests, please make sure to use that test reservation form that you're going to find on the home page of our Schoology page for AP Statistics. In addition, if you don't remember the hour that you should be testing, what you want to do is go to the Course Resources folder, and within there find the link for the testing locations for 2018-2019. Look for your name and find the hour that's designated with the X in there. If you have multiple hours selected, you can choose either one of those. It's important that you can adhere to this. If you are struggling that the hour assigned for you does not work, please email me or stop on in and we can find a better testing time for you. However, I did look at all your schedules and the designated time should be your SPP, so it should not be a problem. For a pass, just use the Flex Scheduler and choose the testing for AP Stats. Show that to your study hall teacher and swing on down and we'll get you testing and going. Now, if you do take your test this week, let's talk about the test retake process. You could either retake the multiple choice, the free response, or both if you would like. What you have to do right down here, if you look at the retake folder, the key thing here, retakes must be taken within 1 week of the original testing date. So if you do choose to test on Monday for the multiple choice, the retake deadline for that would be the following Monday. If you do free response on Tuesday, you have till the following Tuesday to retake. Now the steps for retaking, let's take a look here. First, all formative assignments on Schoology must have been completed prior to taking the original test. Otherwise, you are not retake eligible. So if you are getting really close to that deadline on the Chapter 1 test and you don't have time to finish your homework but you must test, you basically have just made yourself not eligible for the retake because you would have some missing formative work. So do keep that in mind. Step 2, what you want to do is come on in to see me, and what we'll do is get your test out. We'll look at the learning tracker in the very front packet of your note packet, and we'll go through and identify the missed learning objectives for the various problems on your exam. For each learning objective, you're going to see relearning problems identified on that learning tracker. Those are problems that are listed in your textbook. I want you to go to the textbook and actually try those problems. You then can also go in and check the answers. If you click into this folder, you're going to see here, one, the copy of the tracker. So if you don't have your note packet, we can pull that up and you can print it out and we can highlight the learning objectives. But here are all the book solutions for the problems that you would potentially do for relearning. The relearning does need to be done at an adequate level. Turn in that relearning to me as your ticket to retake. Again, let me know if you have any questions about the processes or things going on this week or next, and have yourself a great and safe homecoming week.